Sorry about that, everybody. I was testing out my stuff here, and I forgot to quit out of the game. So yes, everybody, as you all know, Steam is now a thing that we are a part of. The game has been available for 24 hours plus 8, so 32 hours, and people are buying it and all the rest of it. We've actually taken a bit of flack, like who actually launches a game right in the middle of the Steam summer sale or winter sale. So yes, we are kind of
We're new at this.
Yeah, we're new at this, but we really wanted to get it out by the end of the year. We knew that we wanted to get this in people's hands. If not by Christmas, then at least by New Year's. We managed to hit Christmas, which is awesome. Buy Sentinels for your friends. That makes a great stocking stuffer, or something. I don't know.
A Steam code in their stocking.
Indeed. So just to give you a quick introduction, you know me, I'm Jeremy. With me, as always, is John. Say hi, John.
Hello, I'm the lead developer.
And joining us tonight, we have a special guest, also from the Handelabra fold, Jean-Marc Giffen. Say hi, Jean-Marc.
Hey, everybody.
So, for those of you who haven't read the credits, Jean-Marc...
Let's read the credits.
Read the credits. Read them. Let's read them. Boom. Jean-Marc is right here under Programmers, but he's also here under Music Composer. How could that be? What? Yes, all of the wonderful music of the multiverse comes to us straight from the mind of Jean-Marc. We jokingly call him our unicorn because he's both a really good developer and a crazy awesome musician. And so it's very rare to find those both in the same person, but we did, so we're holding on to him. So welcome, Jean-Marc.
Hey, thanks. Quick question for the chat. Does anyone listen to the music? Or do you have it muted?
Well, there's about a 20-second delay on the chat responses, so we'll see what they come back
We'll
with.
talk about what we do. When I'm playing by myself, and there's no one else around, I turn the music on. Even if it clashes with a TV show that I'm watching, because I often play the game while I'm also watching a show or doing whatever. If my kids are around, I mute everything, so I can't really hear the music or the sound effects because I tend to not want them to hear that I'm playing a game, because then they'll stop doing whatever they're doing and look over my shoulder to watch the game I'm playing.
I generally have the music on, but I am a horrible person who just listens through the iPad speaker, so I make sure that it sounds okay through that. But it sounds much better with headphones.
It does, yeah. That's the other thing is I sometimes will actually. One of the things I've been doing lately is using what's the Apple screen sharing thing? AirPlay. I use AirPlay to play it on my movie theater screen in my basement. And that puts it through my 7.1 channel surround sound. And wow. The music from this game and even the sound effects from this game sound amazing when played in super surround sound. We should really look into maybe making this game for consoles or something.
Maybe.
That would be neat. All right, so tonight... oh, wait, I got to go through my little spiel just so everybody knows what's going on for anyone who's new. And I know we have someone who is new.
Vote for us on Greenlight. No, wait.
Don't vote for us on Greenlight. What? Welcome to the Handelabra live stream of Sentinels of the Multiverse. The goal of these streams is to show you how to play the game, as well as cover some strategy that can hopefully help you win. The game does include a tutorial that covers the basics, but we'll do our best to explain exactly what we're doing and why we're doing it. Depending on how long it takes for us to win or lose, we might play more than one full game in a session, and we tend to expect the sessions to last about an hour and a half. Sentinels of the Multiverse is currently available for iPad, Android tablets, and PC and Mac via Steam. And that's all the news that's fit to print. So what are we playing tonight, John?
Sentinels of Multiverse. We're going to go into a new game. So we talked about this ahead of time. We thought we'd have a bit of a challenge. We're going to go with Advanced Cosmic Omnitron.
Boom. Advanced.
And so let's take a look at him.
Keep hitting the wrong button. There you go. All right, so Cosmic Omnitron plays a little bit differently than regular Omnitron because he is constantly just playing more stuff. At least that's what it feels like whenever I play him.
Yeah, he plays an extra card. He starts out with a whole bunch of cards, which is new. And he plays an extra card on his turn. He doesn't flip all the time like regular Omnitron. And then on the backside, he just keeps playing more. He can play continuous streams of cards on this side, which is really terrible sometimes.
Yeah, I was actually playing against Cosmic Omnitron the other day, and I ended up, this turn started with nothing in play. Like, it was the end of the villain turn, got to the hero turn, nothing in play. Wait, I misspoke. It started at the beginning of the villain turn with nothing in play, but Font of Power had just been played. And by the time I got to the second hero, there were 12 cards in play, 2 of which were Electropulse Explosives, and I had like 3 hit points left on 1 hero, so it didn't work out well.
Yeah, I
Right,
played Cosmic Omnitron a little while ago and had the same issue. The Electropulse Explosives can come out fast and furious.
Oh, yes. All right.
And on Mars, feels like a cosmic encounter, don't you think? So
Yes, and as John pointed out when we were looking at our little grid, we've actually only played on Mars once before on the live stream. So we're going to do this again for live stream 8. Wow, look at that. Live stream 8.
This is number 8.
Oh, and just a quick show note, we will not be on next week. Handelabra is going to be closed between Christmas and New Year's because we've been pushing like crazy people to get the game out for Steam, and everybody deserves a rest.
But maybe Ronway will be running a stream.
Yes, now that the game is available on Steam, we're not the only people who will be doing streams. Anyone in the world can do a stream if they want to.
So I'd suggest, post in our forums or in the Greater Than Games forums if you're going to run a stream and get people to come check it out.
Yeah, if you tweet at us, we'll retweet you, so you get a little bit of publicity if you're going to stream the game.
Are Steam streams recorded, or are they just like watch it while it's live kind of thing?
I do not know the answer to that.
On Twitch, it's recorded, but on Steam, I'm not sure. Ronway mentioned he doesn't think it's recorded, so check into that.
All right, so let's talk about our team. Who should we play as? As I've said now, ever since John explained to me how to actually play, I've been a big fan of the Visionary. And especially against someone like Omnitron, I could see that her deck management could be pretty useful. So I think that's one person to keep in mind. I'll put her down here so we can hold on to her. Anybody else have any ideas? And chat, feel free to chime in as well.
So one of the main things with Cosmic Omnitron, or Omnitron in general, that you have to watch out for is the technological singularity.
And the set of the flechettes.
Yes. But especially the singularity, I find, because not only does it destroy all equipment cards, but it deals 2 lightning damage for each equipment card that was destroyed, but that is a separate instance for each one. And so if that's enhanced in any way, it can deal a ton of damage to your heroes.
Right, like villainous weaponry, which we might get out in this.
So. Right. Another thing to consider is that he has the adaptive plating subroutine, so we either want to be able to easily get rid of it or have a variety of damage types.
A variety of damage types, yeah. All right, so what does that translate into in terms of heroes for you, Jamar?
Well, Haka doesn't have many equipment cards, but he does only do...
He does have a couple, but...
All right, smart Alex, you got to pick someone who's actually still in the game already.
No, a little known fact, the chat's calling for guys. All of the characters you see on the screen here are guys.
That is a good point.
Guys is everybody.
We are playing guys, and guys, so...
All right, John, what do you think?
Well, Jean-Marc, you pick, and then I'll pick. Jeremy already picked. The character with no equipment. He was ahead of you.
Yeah, I'm going to go with... I think I'm going to go with Haka and then try and eat some of his drones.
That's a good idea. Also...
Savage Mana, I should say. He doesn't have an eat power.
Talking about equipment issues... it's even worse with Mars base because of pervasive red dust. So
yes.
Any equipment heavy heroes could be in trouble potentially. I'm going to go ahead and grab Legacy. And I'm going to take Young Legacy because who doesn't love Young Legacy?
Cool.
Right. Because she's solid damage dealing, which Haka has, but Visionary doesn't. And... also not really equipment heavy, but she can still boost up the team with various things in the deck, of course. So,
yes, and she has the I believe, the only card in our team that can heal all the heroes.
Right.
So.
All right, so is this order look good? Legacy first, played by John, Haka second by Jean-Marc, and bringing up the rear Visionary by Jeremy?
Sounds good.
As a general thing, I usually put the Visionary at the front so that if she looks at the cards of the villain, the rest of the heroes know what's coming up. But we don't. There are reasons to not do that as well. So,
yeah, I like to have her at the end, so that she can organize things basically for the villain turn at that time.
Going right into it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
She's fun. Let's just do that.
All right, we'll go with what we have here. We've got Cosmic Omnitron on advanced rules at Wagner Mars base with Young Legacy, Haka, and the Visionary.
Can we take a look at what the advanced rules are just one more time?
Yeah, we can do that when we get into the game.
Okay.
Oh, he's so cosmic. It's interesting that...
that is interesting.
It's interesting that you can sort of make a case for Visionary being in any order.
Yeah. And there's the technological singularity. I'm psyched to get it burned so early.
Yeah, there's two of them, I think. But yeah, having one out of the way is nice.
Oh, he did one. It didn't do anything. Awesome.
Yeah, you just played one.
All right, so Cosmic Omnitron. At the start of the game, Omnitron will basically reveal, because we're playing fewer heroes, that actually works out well for us. So we've got reveals cards from the top of the villain deck until one components are revealed and put into play. Other revealed cards return to the deck. And then at the start of the villain turn, if there are no components in play, Omnitron flips. We get to the other side. And then his advanced rules are that he reduces all damage dealt to devices by 1. And when he flips over to the other side, at the start of the villain turn, if there are any components in play, the Omnitron goes back to the other side. And whenever the drone enters play, you play the next card of the villain deck, the top card.
And he
also deals some damage.
So he increases damage on that side, and he is a device as well. So that's important.
Yes. All right, so Young Legacy, talk to me. We got a Backfish Strike. We've got a Bolster Allies, which is drawing cards for everybody. We've got Flying Smash, which is good when you got lots of targets in play. And then we got a Lead from the Front, which allows the player the option to absorb any damage from teammates.
Let's see what the other characters have, too.
All right, so Haka has a Dominion. That is an awesome card that lets you draw whenever environments cards are destroyed. Elbow Smash, nice one-shot damage dealer. And during intercession, redirect any damage that would be dealt by an environment card to Haka. And then Haka of Shielding, which is one of his Haka cards, which is, you draw a couple cards and then you discard, and based on how many cards you discard, it boosts up either your shielding, your recovery, or your damage dealing on a turn. And then finally we got Visionary. We've got a Cerebral Hemorrhage, which is sort of a wide damage dealing card. Precognition, this is the one that I'm a big fan of. That's checking out the villain and sort of... Oh, I got two of them.
Yeah, two of those. We're going to be in charge.
Nice, and I got Arrest the Mind, which I don't know that we'll use it.
The grenade.
All right, so Young Legacy.
Arrest the Mind will be good if the explosive comes out.
Yes.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, so there's an Interpolation Beam Omnitron has out, and that's going to deal us damage every time we draw a card. So, of course, Ronway wants us to play Bolster Allies and have us all get hurt. And the Automaton Drone that he's got out is just a straight-up damage-dealing type of card. Having more cards is good, but we all have cards we want to play right now. We don't really need to draw more cards at the moment. We can try to get rid of that. We don't. We're gonna have to wait for the Visionary to try to take out that ongoing card for us, because it doesn't have. Oh, it does have the destruction after 7 damage, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay,
Yep.
Then I'm just gonna start punching things.
Yeah, that would be my recommendation.
I can get rid of Interpolation Beam right now, so I'm gonna do Backfist Strike on Omnitron. Actually, no, it won't. He has damage reduction, but next turn.
Yeah.
I'll do that and smack him.
Okay, so for anyone new, what's going on here?
So basically the Interpolation Beam as several other of the cards that Omnitron has, are cards that when they go into play, they have certain effects. But if you can deal 7 damage to Omnitron in a single round, they'll go away.
Yeah, so I just did 3 damage, and you can click on the lightning bolt in the game to keep track of it at the top. So he's been dealt 3 damage this round, so that's good. And I'm going to go ahead and use my power, which is to do 2 energy damage to Omnitron as well. And then that's going to be 5 damage to him. So as long as you guys can get him for 2, I'll still draw a card for 1. It's only 1 damage.
Yeah, I was going to say, this early in the game, I would take the damage. Oh, and you got a takedown, which is also excellent.
Excellent. Yeah, that will keep him from playing cards. So.
All right, Haka, what can we do?
Okay, so what are you going to be doing, Jeremy?
I'm probably going to do precognition. Start to figure out what's going to be coming up.
So in that case, I'll do the damage. His innate power alone won't do it because we need to deal 2, and that would only deal 1 with the reduction. Yep. So I will use Elbow Smash.
Elbow Smash. Oh, Runway picked up on the company policy that we only hire people whose name starts with J.
Yes, that is a prerequisite.
Interestingly enough, we actually did that before realizing we had done it.
And it's not even like
the company to Jandelabra.
Like we've had this isn't even in the first. Like we've had employees in the past. Like Jim,
this isn't everybody.
Jesse.
We've had a Jesse. We've had a Jason.
Jason.
And we have a Jennifer.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess you're going to use your power then.
It's pretty much the only thing to do, yeah.
And do you want to do it to Omnitron, or do you want to start dealing on that automaton drone?
I think I'll do it to the drone, actually.
Yeah, he hits based on his hit points, so.
Yeah.
And maybe a Martian Velociraptor will come out and eat him.
And so, like Jean-Marc was saying, so the Visionary is all about managing the game. She can look into the future by looking at her deck. She can look at the environment deck. She can look at the villain deck, and Precognition is a card that lets me do that. I get to look at the top 3 cards of the villain deck and then do cool things with them. So I'm going to do that. All right, we've got 2 adaptive plating subroutines, which are actually not that big of a deal right now because Legacy's base power is going to do energy damage, Haka tends to do melee damage, and the Visionary tends to do psychic damage. Would you agree, John, that that's... And Jean-Marc? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, and is it this side or the other side that when a drone comes out, he plays another card?
That's the other side.
Oh, okay.
And he's gonna flip if he has no components. Let's take a look at Omnitron.
Yep, no components.
So he's going to flip. And so we do not want a drone to be the top card.
Yep. All right, so I'll go ahead and put the adaptive plating subroutine on the top, and then the other ones will go on the bottom. We'll put the other one on the very bottom. And now, let's see. So are you guys pretty happy with your cards for the moment?
Yes.
Yeah, I have cards to play.
All right, I will do my base power on myself then. All right, we got a Mental Divergence, which is always good to have in play, so you can get rid of
for
a card.
ongoing.
That's really good actually for.
Oh, and Twist the Ether is also great.
Yeah, in fact, so Twist the Ether. Let's talk about that card for a minute. So Twist the Ether is a card that you play next to pretty much any target in the game, and whenever that target deals damage, we get to decide if it increases it or decreases it by 1, plus we get to choose what type it is. And with an adaptive plating subroutine out, that is a really awesome thing to have.
It also has the most bug reports associated with it.
Yes, because it can cause all kinds of crazy stuff to happen.
It's pretty complicated.
All right, so I'm actually going to go ahead, since I've got 2 pretty solid damage dealers, I'm going to get rid of my only damage dealing card because I don't want to get rid of any of the other ones.
Yeah, we got this.
Yep.
You can manipulate.
Yeah, so here, Prophetic Vision is the card that I drew, and that's the same card that I just did for the villain, but for the environment. All right,
Fire in the biosphere.
All right, so everybody takes 2 fire damage. This is going to take out that... oh, it's not going to because of the damage reduction. I was all excited for a minute there.
I don't think the order matters, so we'll choose for me.
Appear to matter. Yeah, I have speed of animation turned way up for my game. So that's why it's like, pow, 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 pow. All right. So now this is the other thing about this. So we can actually destroy, ongoing cards? Yeah. Or take 2 more fire damage, but none of us have any ongoing cards in play.
Yeah.
So we just take another couple damage.
and we can discard a card or two at the start of the environment turn to get rid of it, so it's not a big deal.
So technically, Omnitron would not fit in this room.
Yeah, so he flipped there. It was way too fast to see with the animation speed turned up.
Right,
I couldn't see it.
I'll fix that. All right, let's fix that. So yeah, so this is one of the other things that we added for the Steam release is a little bit more granularity here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the animation speed down a little bit, turn the message display time down a little bit as well. I keep my card display up because I like to read exactly what every card does because I still don't have them all memorized, despite the fact that I probably could if I was just paying closer attention.
Well, there's a lot of cards, so it's easy to get them mixed up, too.
That is very true. That is very true.
Okay, so let's see. So, takedown. I guess you're going to do a prophetic, or you're going to do something on him as well, or I could play takedown and just keep him from playing cards? Because actually he's going to play 2 cards. No, wait, on this side he only plays 1 card, right? But it could be a drone.
Well, on this side, yeah, if he plays a drone, he plays 2 cards. So, I've got the prophetic vision, so I can do my mojo to the environment this turn, to see what's going to be happening in terms of that, or I could do the villain. So I guess the question is, do we want to do takedown now, or do we want to maybe save that and do it on a different turn?
Yeah, I mean, I could just play takedown and then he can't play cards at all. So why don't we do that?
Alrighty. And then use your base?
Yep. And I will just shoot Omnitron.
Yeah, and so since Omnitron flipped, the damage is no longer being reduced. The damage is in fact increasing from devices. So Omnitron is going to do more damage, which means it's extra important for us to try and take him out as fast as possible.
Yeah, and now he's immune to energy damage. What? Why does he hit me?
That's no problem for me.
Because
of takedown. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I forget what I do. I'm a goldfish.
All right, John Mark, talk to me.
Okay, so I love the card Dominion, but I usually like to start off with some defense because the earlier it comes out, the basically, theoretically, the longer I'm able to last. So I could go either way, Dominion or Tamoko. What does the chat think?
Yeah, see, so this is where I don't know how often Jean-Marc has watched any of the previous streams, but I like to talk about my strategy, which is to kill everything right now.
You can't do any of those things right now. You can't kill anything right now.
I understand that. But so, like, any card that is like, oh, don't take more damage right now, that's not a card I usually play. So Tamoka is a card that I only ever play like if I don't have anything else to play. In this case, I would play Dominion because I know that this fire in the biosphere is probably going to come out because someone's going to play discard 2 cards, and then that's a card for Haka. So that's the way that I would look at it. So we got Kirsch Ronwaits talking Dominion.
I mean, I always like Dominion. I like to have as many copies of Dominion as possible in play.
Yeah.
All right, let's Dominion eyes this thing, and then I'll take out the automaton drone.
So there's no -1 anymore. So there's a wasted damage. Okay, no, let's go for Omnitron.
Well, he is going to damage.
He will do 2 damage, but I don't know.
So it's increased.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I'm not going to be doing damage. It's possible the environment may, and I can set up the environment to do so.
Actually, yeah. There you go.
So let's see what we can do here. So yeah, I was going to do... Well... Yeah, I want to do Prophetic Vision first, and then I'll see about maybe doing either Twisty Ether or Mental Divergence next turn. All right. Oh, good. Yes. So I definitely want to get... I do not want Pervasive Red Dust. Let's see here. So we've got a maintenance level, which is at the end of the environment turn, you play the next environment card, which means that we would basically get a card that we know is going to come and the card that we don't know. So I probably don't want to put that one on top. Oxygen Leak reduces fire damage by 3, which is actually could be good, because are these all energy damage that he does?
Mostly.
Yeah.
I vote for Oxygen Leak.
Yeah, I would probably put Oxygen Leak because
you can get rid of it immediately.
Yeah, so basically one
And I
player
will get a
discards
card
one
for,
card.
for that happening.
And
That's a very
Pervasive Red
cheap
Dust
card.
actually isn't bad because we don't have any equipments.
Oh, that's a good point. It's during the environment of each player's cards. Yeah.
But it is, as long as we never put equipment out. But if we have equipments in our hand that we want to get into play, it actually makes it easier to get them into play because you can just discard them and get them in play.
Yeah.
But I don't think we actually have them in our hands.
Yeah,
so.
We're going to do Oxygen Leak, and then we'll put Maintenance Level on the very bottom. All right. Would anybody like to be enlightened? Are you guys okay?
I mean, if I would give it to Haka in general, because more cards for Haka is better, unless there's a need. I think I can.
And I'm pretty happy with what I have.
I have like 1 million damages to do, so
all right.
I'm happy to keep punching.
What do you say, Haka?
All right.
Be enlightened. Makes sense for Haka to be enlightened. Haka is a very enlightened character. So you got a Haka of Battle and a Mirror, and then you get to pick one of your cards to discard. So what would you like to get rid of? You have Enduring Intercession.
Yeah, probably Enduring Intercession.
Okay. Yeah, so that's redirect any damage that be dealt to a hero by the environment to Haka. And while that does happen quite regularly on Wagner Mars base, I don't know. I feel like there's better things that Haka could be doing. All right. So, and this was the other thing is to get rid of this fire in the biosphere, someone's gonna have to discard some cards. So let's see what we got here. Legacy has probably not 2 cards that you can reasonably get rid of. Haka's got the most cards of anybody. And then Visionary, I don't know what I would get rid of. Maybe I could get rid of the Decoy Projection and I guess the Twist the Ether. Or the Mental Divergence. What do we think? So Haka, would you want to discard or you want me to do it?
Up to you.
He is our unicorn, yes indeed. All right, I can do it. That's fine. I don't need the Decoy Projection pretty much ever.
I love Decoy Projection.
I feel like that's one of those things with her that I still haven't really learned how to use effectively.
Especially if like smoke bombs is around and stuff, like you can do all sorts of cool stuff.
All right, so you get to draw a card.
Or if she's gonna do like a ton of damage to herself, then she can make it happen to the Decoy Projection instead.
All right, so now, Haka, how about you discard 1 card to get rid of the Oxygen Leak?
Okay. Haka of Shielding.
Yeah. I don't use that one very much. It is very situational.
It's
Especially
good
because once you do it to get rid of that card, you're going to get another card.
But that's about it. So.
What was that, Jean-Marc?
Sorry, I was talking
I said I use it if I know that a lot of damage is incoming and I can prevent it.
I was saying in that situation, it was really good for Haka to be the one to discard because discarding and getting rid of that environment means that he's just going to draw another card right away.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so yeah, Omnitron couldn't play cards. He just did a little damage, and we're back to it.
And we're back at it. All right.
I'm going to play Bolster Allies and get us some more cards because cards are great. Yep. Just choose for me.
Ooh, Heroic Interception. I like that.
Or don't choose for me.
I wish I could do the Archer voice so I could say terms of enrampagement. Any Archer fans in the chat room tonight? All right. Would you like to do your Atomic Glare? Yeah.
I will do damage. When does he flip back over, by the way?
If there's a component in play at the beginning of the villain turn.
Okay. So I'm just going to hit Omnitron for 3 damage. I'm just going to keep glaring at him atomically. And he's becoming immune, but we're not all doing the same kind of damage, so that's working okay.
Yep. Danger zone! Would you say that you're in a zone? A zone of danger? I'm so funny sometimes. All right, so Haka, talk to me. You got all kinds of cards going on here.
I do. Yeah, I think I'll put out the Tamoko now.
Save your strength for the incoming sedative flechettes.
Yes.
As soon as you put that out, that card will get played.
Could.
because Haka is on it.
And so, does Omnitron deal damage himself?
Yes.
Yeah. 2 energy
Okay.
damage to the target with the highest... The one hero target with the highest 2... I'm not reading that correctly.
He deals 2 damage to the highest.
Exactly. It would be different if there was
2 plus
more than
1.
3 in play. So
Yeah, I think I'll deal my damage to the automaton so that there's only one source of incoming damage, assuming nothing comes out, which it will. But
Well, Visionary can control that, potentially.
so
yeah, I still have one precognition.
another Dominion.
All right, so
Double
I have
Dominion.
2 Rest the Minds and a Twist the Ether and a Precognition.
There's no one you can play Rest the Mind on
I
now.
can't rest anybody's minds, unfortunately. I could Twist the Ether maybe on Young Legacy. That could be a pretty interesting play. But maybe after we've done some precognition to figure out what we got coming next.
Yeah, I think Precognition's the best play here.
All right, so we've got a Disintegration Ray, which is another one of those components that... So this is exactly it. If this comes out and stays out, then Omnitron will flip. But if we can deal 7 damage, then this essentially becomes a non-issue.
Yeah, that one's probably the best choice because it doesn't even do anything until the next turn. So
Yeah.
Exactly. So if we can do 7 in a turn, that's fine. Whereas Interpolation Beam is just annoying.
yeah,
And Assault Drone is going to deal damage. So yeah.
And play another drone.
and play another
Exactly.
card. So
All right, so we'll put Interpolation Beam on the very bottom. And just because now all I've got in my hand is Twist the Ether and 2 Rest the Minds, I'm going to go ahead and Enlighten myself. Yes, Haka. Okay, that's interesting. Haka needs to discard all the cards option. I want you to get right on that, development team.
Maybe.
All right, we got a Mind Spike, so some more damage dealing. Oh, all damage dealing. I'll probably, since we're going against Omnitron, you know what? I'm going to keep Psychic Maelstrom, because I'm probably not going to use it right away, but that way, if we do end up on a tear where he's putting out drone after drone after drone, because that's the thing, if one drone comes out, and then he plays another drone, and then another drone, there's basically nothing stopping more drones from coming out. So
Yeah, if you can get him to put his stuff from his trash on top, we can keep him from playing drones.
hey, so all in
Oh, Meteor Storm.
no damage for the next round unless we skip a turn.
Can someone get rid of that? We don't have Environment Destruction, do we? In our characters. We're gonna
not
have...
really.
The only way we can get rid of this is to skip a turn.
Yeah. So let's see. So Legacy, you've got a Flying Smash, the Heroic Interception, a Thok, and 2 lead from the front. What would you have done this turn? Just some damage dealing?
I mean, I could do 6 damage to Omnitron.
Is there anything that you can do if you don't skip your turn? That I think is the most important question. Like, is getting one of those lead from the fronts really important?
No. I would do 6 damage to Omnitron. That's the thing I would do.
Right. Right, but the choices are basically do nothing or put out a lead from the front. Right?
I don't... What?
Meteor Storm means that nothing can take any damage right now. So if you try to play a card to deal damage, it's not going to do anything.
I would do it to no effect.
Right.
Aha!
So the choices are do nothing, essentially, like...
All right, I'll skip my turn.
Like wail on Omnitron, like, no, Omnitron!
Just skip my turn.
Okay.
I'm Legacy.
I find myself in a very strange position, which is that I am following the game. It seems better than John, and that never happens. Like twice
There's too
now.
much happening in the chat.
Oh, you're following chat. Okay. It's not a role I'm used to playing. So all right. So Legacy's gonna skip. Meteor Storm's gone. That lets Haka draw a card excellently.
A card that is not good for right now.
All right, Haka. What would you like to do?
All right, it'd be nice if we kill that Disintegration Ray. Visionary could take it out directly with Mental Divergence, or we could do damage.
I don't have... Oh, I do still have the Mental Divergence.
You do.
Okay.
I guess you could Haka Battle and Super Smash.
Yeah.
That's one option.
I mean, there's Ground Pound.
Yeah, that's another one.
The trouble with Ground Pound is that set of flechettes gets rid of it.
Right.
if he's allowed to play a card like that. The game is looking all right, Skyrider 19. We seem to be doing okay, but you never know with Omnitron.
Are you going to play Mental Divergence, Jeremy?
I am probably gonna play. Yeah, I can do Mental Divergence.
Okay, so you'll take care of the component. I'm thinking either putting out Mare so I can start drawing cards when I deal damage,
Because you need more cards.
Yeah.
because I always need more cards, or Dominion.
Another Dominion to get more
'Cause I
cards.
love Dominion.
I mean, Mare is good because you get to still do your 2 damage.
Right, yeah, I think I'll put Mare out. And then use it against Omnitron.
It's a little more consistent.
You get a Haka of shielding, and then an elbow smash.
Wonder if I can get my whole deck into my hand.
That almost happened
Yeah,
last game.
Been there, done that.
Last week, we had Bunker. I think he could have had his entire deck in his hand if we had played it right.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get that Mental Divergence out, and I will use that power to get rid of the Disintegration Ray. So yeah, this actually is one of those choice powers. Visionary is all about choosing and controlling. So she can either take one ongoing card from a hero trash and put it on the top of their deck, or destroy an ongoing. So obviously we've been talking about destroying this ongoing. So let's get rid of that Disintegration Ray.
So I'm curious why this power is like has an or instead of being 2 powers like on Tempest's card. I was been thinking about that.
Ah.
Well,
I mean,
you can only use a given power once per turn.
right.
But I think that is... I don't even know. Is that per power or per card?
It's per power. So
Right. So that's the I guess the distinction there.
Yeah, so with Localized Hurricane, if you had Tempest able to do 2 powers, he could do the Localized Hurricane, deal damage, and draw 2 cards, and then destroy itself.
yeah, it's pretty rare that those heroes get to use 2 powers.
So for anybody who missed what just happened, Terraforming came out. Let's back up here. We'll bring that up. So Terraforming came out, which allows basically Omnitron to just wipe away the environment, but then every environment card that it destroys, he gets to play a card for that. And so he did that, and then the card that he played was the other Technological Singularity, which is awesome because we don't have any equipment. So,
Well,
I had air, but no big deal.
yeah, you had 1 equipment out, was that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it though.
Yeah.
and you got to draw a card.
I did.
Cool. All right, so now Omnitron is dealing some damage, and we get to decide who's going to take it.
You can give it to Legacy.
Yeah, I was going to say, Visionary tends to be the more squishy of the 2.
Although when she has her decoy projection out.
Yeah, so there's where I should have used the decoy projection. But
That's another card when I'm playing the Visionary that
I almost always
not
play
bad
it
for me, so.
if I have it.
all right, Legacy.
And Jeremy almost always trashes it. So there we go.
There you go.
Oh, there's not enough targets. I need a target-rich environment here for Flying Smash. But I'm going to, I think, play Thok and hit Omnitron with a punch.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. Because he's still immune.
Yeah,
all right,
because-
go. Just rewind. Play something else.
All right, so we're going to go back. For those of you who have not seen this, we'll go through this actually because I know there's a couple new players via Steam who are not familiar entirely with the interface. So the menu up here, there's basically 4 things. There's the main menu, which is the options, the main menu, and the restart game. There's help, which brings up the help files, which are actually sort of keyed up to wherever you are in the game. It should bring you the most relevant thing at the moment. There's the rewind button, and then there's the lightning bolt. The lightning bolt shows you any currently active effects that aren't written on cards. So like ongoing effects, number of cards discarded, that kind of stuff. And so if you've never used the rewind, it's for exactly this situation where we didn't check that lightning bolt, so we didn't remember that Cosmic Omnitron was immune to melee, and we went to do melee damage.
Oh, special little tip for our loyal loyal stream viewers. Right now, I'm working on making it so that those status effects up there, whichever card they're associated with, when you look at that full card view, there's a little box on the left-hand side that says any status effects or special information pertaining to that card.
Right. So if we pulled up stock, would it show us that he's immune, or would that be only if we pulled up Omnitron?
It would be if you double-clicked on the adaptive plating subroutine, it would show like a box in the left corner saying like he is currently immune to blah blah blah.
Aha.
And we are planning to add some sort of tokens and that sort of thing that you'd actually see all the time for things like that. So those are in the works.
Yeah, but this is the quickest and easiest thing to add.
So just to answer a chat question, Iceman, there probably is not. Simply just because the villain decks are designed in such a way that they play themselves, and having a person controlling them wouldn't work great.
It's just something that's not really part of this game.
Yeah. If you want to do some one-on-one, or more accurately 3-on-3, where heroes and villains can all play together, that's where Sentinel Tactics comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Which is another amazing game in the same universe that you should look into if you're interested in sort of,
a versus game.
A versus game, exactly. A competitive game.
Yeah.
All right, so, Young Legacy.
Then I can't... I guess I could play Heroic Interception, but... Well, what is Heroic Interception? Let's take a look at that for the new players. So, Legacy is going to deal herself 3 melee damage and make all the other heroes immune to damage, which is great. But there's not a lot of damage going around.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to play lead from the front so that I have the option to take damage directed at the other heroes. It's not great it's okay, especially if I pick up a card that makes me immune to energy damage, like Next Evolution. But I'm going to just punch Omnitron, or shoot Omnitron with laser beams, right in its glowing eye.
Yeah, and so I'll play a card next turn, and then I have my destroy ongoing thing out, so I can get rid of that, so we can stop being a bug in our...
Well, yeah, it's only a problem because my one-shots tend to be melee.
Yeah.
But if you did some damage, that would help, but obviously that's not your main thing.
Haka.
Right, so he's still immune to melee, so I can't...
No, he's immune to energy.
Yeah, he's immune to energy now.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I forgot that she deals energy damage, so... Can you go to the end for a sec?
Vitality Surge.
Vitality Surge, Rampage, Haka of Shielding, Haka of Restoration.
I mean, it's not a bad time for a Haka of Battle.
I was going to say, like, with all these cards that you've got in there, I would Haka of Battle and just start wailing.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so for those of you who don't know, Haka of Battle draws 2 cards. So we got another Haka of Battle and a Savage Mana. And now Haka can discard as many cards as he wants. And for each card that he discards, it's going to increase the next damage he does by an additional point. So, all right, so what are we getting rid of? You got another Dominion, yes
Elbow
or no?
Smash.
Elbow Smash.
That one.
Enduring Intercession, Ground Pound.
I think if you click the Lightning Bolt, you can see how many cards you've discarded, right? No? Oh, maybe not.
No,
that's
we
something
don't
we need
have
to add. We haven't added that yet.
Haka of Battle.
Haka of Restoration.
Yeah. Haka of Shielding. Probably won't use that Rampage.
Yeah.
Unless it's not going to be a target.
Yeah, I think that's good.
All right. And then when you're done with this, you just hit a little stop button up here. We're considering moving this stop button, which is also the skip button under certain circumstances, down into the actual hero area here to make it more obvious where it is. Just, we're letting you behind the curtain here on our development process a little bit. All right, so now use your base power.
Yep.
All right.
No, wait, the other power.
And so you can see here that Haka's going to do 9 melee damage, 7 of which came from that Haka battle.
Nice. Down to 70.
And now he's back to melee, so that's important to remember. Young Legacy.
All right.
All right. So maybe this would actually be a really good opportunity for me to twist the ether on you.
Well, what were you just going to use your power and get rid of the thing?
Oh, yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Yeah,
well,
you can deal damage.
I could just deal damage, but
Yeah, if you deal psychic damage, then it will be different. I don't know.
I feel like if I twist the ether on you, you tend to have 2 damage dealing rounds per turn. Because you can play a card to deal damage and your base power is dealing damage. And Twist the Ether is going to boost each of those by 1.
Sure.
So I feel like that's probably, if we want to just keep wailing on you, I can always deal damage next turn. You know, if we can get you set up, I think that's a good idea. So I'm going to go ahead and Twist the Ether on Legacy. And then I will still go ahead and use...
Well, what cards do I have?
You've got a bunch of melee damages. Flying Smash, Heroic Interception, Thought.
Fortitude is good. I might want to play that. Because I can lead from the front and then -1 the damage.
Yeah, that's the only thing about, like, so this is one of the things that I remember having to learn about her cool damage, you know, sort of siphoning cards, is Rest the Mind you can play on anything, any target.
No, you can't.
I'm sorry. See, this is exactly it. This is why I had to, I keep having to remind myself. Rest the Mind can be played on any target other than a character card, whereas Twist the Ether can be played on any target. And so that's any target that can deal damage, basically. So that
and Rest the Mind is limited as well.
It
you
is
can only have 1 at a time.
Yeah. So, in fact, I've double rested the mind on Absolute Zero. That was fun.
You probably didn't because it's limited.
Then...
You probably played Twist the Ether. Which is what you meant.
That's what I meant. See, I keep getting them mixed up. I don't work on the engine, so I always forget the card names. I double twisted the ether.
Okay.
Yeah.
You do whatever you feel is right here.
I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of that adaptive plating subroutine.
Sure.
Just because, why not?
Skyrider asks, so Jeremy is controlling the screen and we're watching on Skype, and we're strategizing. But we're each controlling our own characters with our minds. This is a way you can play co-op with the game right now. We are planning on adding actual, multiplayer where you each have your own screens and so on. But you can sort of do this in the meantime. Oh no, drones!
And Electropulse Explosive.
That's where your Rest the Mind comes in.
Yes.
Luckily, I have 2 of those Rest the Minds ready. All right, so are we going to redirect some damage to you or no?
From the Visionary.
No, this is from Omnitron.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the wording confusion I was talking to you about. It's like people wanted it to say who the original target was, but then as soon as you do that, it's like it looks like they're dealing the damage. So
I think this needs to be done better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to the Visionary. How many hit points does the Visionary have?
Visionary currently has 20. Legacy has 17.
Visionary could probably take it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. So we'll say no. Yeah, she was the highest HP.
And then he healed with the repair drone. It healed.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, if I put a Fortitude, I can start taking that damage and it'll be reduced. So I'm going to do that. And you're going to take care of the Electropulse Explosive.
Yes, I am going to rest its mind.
And I'm intending to put out Savage Mana, so if you whittle down targets that I can eat up, that would be helpful.
Cool. Yeah, so we've got the Villainous Weaponry. We didn't talk about this when it got played. Villainous Weaponry basically increases all damage by the villains by 1. And remember, the damage by the villain is already increasing by 1, anything that's a device, thanks to Cosmic Omnitron. So that's actually a double booster, which could, cause some serious problems. But if we can start getting some of those out of the way...
Yeah, so you could have that do either a bunch of damage to Omnitron or just have it kill itself. What's your plan?
Electropulse?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. If I rest the mind on it right now, I can have it do 15 to Omnitron.
16.
16.
Villainous Weaponry if we leave that.
17.
Oh, right, because device.
So I can do 17 to Omnitron. I'll take 3, and I'll go down to 13. It'll take 3, go down to 12. Then I could have it do the additional 12, do the 12, which would be 13, 14, to get rid of villainous weaponry. And then I would take another 3, and then I could also have it get rid of the repair drone.
Or you could have it do like 40 damage total to Omnitron.
That's true.
I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah.
And then do it again next turn. You will take a lot of hit point damage for it.
I will.
Do you have a cocoon? Did you draw a cocoon?
But maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll get one.
I thought you drew one.
Turn. Oh, I do have a cocoon. Huh.
The thing is, you can't play 2 cards.
Yeah, so I'd have to get the Rest of the Mind out, take a bunch of damage this turn, and then I could get the cocoon out next turn. So.
Yeah, it's tricky because you always want to do both of those. I would put out the Rest of the Mind. So you don't have to do what I say, but this is just suggestion. You could put out Rest of the Mind.
It's also important to understand that we are actually on your turn right now.
Yes, but it affects what I'm going to do.
Okay.
To take the full damage and hit it for Omnitron, and then cocoon next turn, so that you don't take more damage the next time.
Yeah.
One thing to think about, anyways.
So
what I want to do is, I can hit the repair drone for Haka to eat it up.
Well, if you hit the repair drone now, you'll kill it. So I would say...
You can make it so that...
you can reduce the damage.
That's true. We could reduce the damage instead of increase it.
Well, I wouldn't kill it. I'll do 3 damage.
+1 from Twist the Ether.
But it's not necessarily +1.
Right. It's as we were just saying. It's +1 or -1.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Yes,
we're all saying the same
said
thing.
That.
Or I could do it to villainous weaponry if we want to get rid of that. What do you prefer, Jean-Marc?
Well, if it's the weaponry, then not only can I put it under Savage Mana, but I get to draw a card from it. So, but it would reduce the amount of damage that the
that would be
explosive does to Omnitron.
3 more damage to Omnitron for keeping it.
Yeah.
So
we can get rid of it next time.
All right, so I'll hit the drone, and if I hit it for 2, you'll still be able to kill it.
Yeah.
Right. So.
All right, damage type.
No matter. Infernal.
Infernal. And reduced by 1.
Reduced by 1. See this, and this is something that actually Jeremy and I were talking about today. There's been people, actually Jean-Marc and I were talking about today. We've gotten requests for why can't Twist the Ether just automatically increase the damage when it's going to villains and automatically reduce it when it's going to heroes? Because sometimes you don't want that, like in this case.
Yeah.
If I had increased it, then it wouldn't do what we wanted. So that's something that's really tricky is, you can't just blanket do that because you want to have control over being able to do the things you want. So
yeah, and I should say this too. Just real quick. So you wanted to do Savage Mana, yes?
Yeah.
And then hit the repair drone?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do that. So some of this speaks to the design concept. One of our sort of watchwords when we were making this game was that we wanted it to match the tabletop and the feeling of the tabletop as much as possible. And what that means is that, we could absolutely change some of the nature of how the game plays to make it more streamlined as a digital game. But we didn't want to do that. We expressly chose not to do that in several situations because what makes this game great is the fact that you get to make all those strategic decisions on your own. And every time the game takes one of those choices away from you, we felt that it would feel less like what makes the tabletop game so great. And so that's why we chose to give the player the choice in every chance that we hear. Now, that being said, there's certainly the opportunity to find places where, we can still streamline things a little bit more, and we are obviously still working to do that. But that was sort of some thinking into our design process there. Yeah,
and one of the things that you see actually against Omnitron times, and in this game, in fact, is by default the option is set so that it's not going to ask you to draw a card if it's optional. You'll just draw it. But if there is something that might happen, it'll ask you, and if you want, you can change the option to always ask you. If you want to have that control, you've got that. So anytime we do any streamlining like that, we'll make sure to have an option in there so that if you want full control, you can have it.
Do either of you have a card in your trash that you would like to have on the top of your hero deck?
Might have to look at them to see.
So
Yeah, let's see what's in the trash.
All you've got Legacy are Backfist Strike, Bolster Allies, and Takedown.
All I've got is Takedown. That card sucks.
Well, I'm just saying. It's only, I meant in terms of number. You only have 3 cards, whereas he's got like 17. So you got 2
No, but
smashes,
it's only ongoings.
2 enduring.
It
Oh,
only
right,
works
right,
for
right,
ongoings.
right. Okay, so yeah, so Tamoka, which isn't much, or enduring intercessions. So,
I mean, if we want to have Takedown, that is a good one.
Yeah,
Or,
Takedown's the best
Draw
choice.
2, discard 1 is also a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Like her base
yeah,
power.
I have them too, don't I?
Yeah, and you've got cards.
Well, what? Yeah, those are.
Just another mental divergence, actually.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would be happy to have the Takedown, but if we wanted me to be doing more damage, then you may as well just do the other power instead.
All right, I'll just enlighten myself and see if I get anything else interesting, because I'm most likely going to use the Telekinetic Cocoon next turn.
Then you should. Well, okay.
But let's just see. I mean, okay, so we got a Prophetic Vision, so maybe that might be worth using. So let's see here.
Yeah, decoy projection is also good when you've got Rest of the Mind out, because it can take the damage.
Hemorrhage. Cerebral Hemorrhage is basically Psychic Maelstrom, but without as wide of a reach. So I usually, if I have to pick one, I'll keep. Oh, now
And they have 2 cocoons.
2 cocoons.
Cocoon it up.
All right, so we've got a pervasive red dust. There are no equipment cards in play, so that's excellent. Okay, here we are. Electropulse Explosive. So, why do I not see Rest of the Mind on this?
Because you have to choose it first. Choose a target first, and then Rest of the Mind gets to go.
There it is. Okay. Whew,
So when you do the preview, it shows you what's going to happen.
All right, so I'll do it to myself. It's 17 damage. We are going to... Which should redirect damage first? We'll select Rest of the Mind.
Lead from the front first. Actually, lead from the front is optional, right?
Right.
So yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to say no.
Lead from the front and say no. And then we're going to direct this over to Omnitron. So we got 17 damage against Omnitron. Oh, here's a UI bug. Got a card disappearing. So that does 3 damage to Electropulse.
What
and
card
3
is
damage
supposed to be there? There's a drone that's dead. It just didn't line up. Oh, because the Rest of the Mind's supposed to be on it, and it's not.
Yep.
Bug.
Bug.
There's no bugs. There are no bugs.
All right, so we are going to redirect the damage back to Omnitron again. Take 3. The Electropulse will take 3 damage, and then Visionary will take 3 damage. And
She's fine.
We'll Rest the Mind one more time. Back to Omnitron again, 11 damage, and now you'll notice Visionary is going to start to feel a little bit queasy after this.
Katir is wondering what heroes are good for learning the game. I would definitely recommend from the base set some heroes that are more sort of straight up damage dealers, like Ra is a really good one for new players to start with. The Wraith, also really good because, I mean, let's face it, she's basically Batman, but awesome. Better than Batman. She's
so much cooler than Batman.
Yeah.
By the way, did everybody watch the that DC versus Marvel fan trailer? That was sweet.
Yeah. And, Tempest is a great choice. Tachyon is a good choice, especially if you teach them about, like, what burst cards do. And Haka is actually not bad. I mean, he has a lot of straight-up damage and some interesting stuff that you can sort of start picking up. So
yeah, I would say the only 2 that are really tricky, more so than just general strategic stuff, is Visionary and Absolute Zero. Those are the 2 that were the most daunting for me when I first started. Legacy is really awesome at just dealing some damage, but also bolstering teammates. The other damage dealers are good.
So if you're helping your friends, if you're teaching your friends the game, you should pick Legacy so you can make them more awesome. That's always a good choice so that you can increase their damage and do all that stuff. Haka, you have lots of hit points. You can take your own damage. You're a big boy.
Yeah. Oops, I hit the wrong... Oh, okay, good. Whew. I thought I hit the wrong button for a second there, but I did not. All right, back to Legacy.
No, and now the explosive has the card under it. Yeah, so there's just a bug there that's not showing up on that turn.
Yep.
All right. So Legacy's happy. She's so happy. So
I could eat one of those cards.
well, what I can do is flying smash them so that you can then do those things. Do you have a multi-target attack?
I don't know.
A couple or one shot or anything?
He's got Tiana in his hand.
Oh, perfect.
I do.
So
Okay.
I can make two things ready for your Savage Mana.
All right, let's do it.
If we want, I can. If you want to take the Electro Pulse, always Mel do it. It's down to 6. It's not doing much anymore. So Villainous Weaponry.
Infernal.
Yes.
Increase.
As long as it's not going to kill it, right?
Take
It's just
down
going to be.
4. It's 4
Yeah.
4 damage to do that. So.
And then the same thing against the Electro Pulse. And we'll get that under Savage Mana too. Increase that.
Does Rest the Mind get placed under?
No, it'll come back to your trash.
Got it.
And then Omnitron, Infernal. That worked out well.
Yeah.
And then I will just blast Omnitron for 4 cold damage. Cold laser beams. He's down to 26. Nice job, Visionary.
Yeah, that was a good
Yeah.
call.
Yeah, that was like half of his health.
Yeah, Imprimis. I know Bunker's mode cards can be kind of hard to get a handle on if you're not used to sort of how that stuff works.
Oh, and finally Next Evolution shows up, which I was looking for.
Okay, so Tayaha.
What did I call it?
Tiki Taki or something? I don't
Tiana.
know.
I think I called it Tiana. What can I say? All right. And then blast away at Villainous and Electropulse.
Yes.
Because I've been trying to hone my game controller skills over here. A couple times I've accidentally hit the wrong thing because I assumed that's what somebody wanted to do, but it wasn't. So I try to make sure I get final confirmation before I do anything.
Is that your final answer?
Exactly. All right, and we got Villainous Weaponry. Yes, we're going to put it underneath Savage Mana. And Dominion.
Because maybe sometimes you don't want to do it.
Yep. Mare.
All right.
Haka and his mighty tiara. Oh, that's good stuff. All right, so I was going to telekinetic cocoon, but we don't need to. So,
You could if you want to hide like a baby.
yeah, let's go ahead and I feel like since we haven't had a couple of the super killer cards yet, I want to do some prophetic vision here to make sure that we're not going to get screwed over by the environment. Like specifically, I'm worried about the countdown. All right, so are any of us doing fire damage? I guess we can only discard one card. Yeah, again, I want to get rid of that Meteor Storm and the Villainous Weaponry, so I'll put Oxygen Leak on top again, unless anyone has any...
Yeah, it's easy to get rid of.
Yeah, that's fine for me.
And also, we could decide to make it do damage to Omnitron to win the game, potentially.
All right, so... and then do I want to get rid of this Pervasive Red Dust, or is it going to... Let's see. Each player discards one card, destroy this card.
Yeah, at this point, it hasn't done anything.
Yeah, should we just leave it in play?
Well, it's going to get rid of Tayaha, if you want that.
Ah, okay. So I'll mentally diverge it, if that's cool. Unless
What do you mean? You can't.
I can't.
Yeah,
Is that
that's
not? It's
like
just an
ongoing.
ongoing. Yeah, never mind.
No, but if we discard a card at the start of the environment turn, then we can bring.
Yeah, you can get equipment into play, right? It's actually we want to.
So yeah, I'd leave it there.
All right,
Yeah.
fair enough.
And we can't this is. I don't know what we're talking about. You can't get rid of it.
Yeah. So does anybody want?
Let me.
Looks like
Should I do
Haka's
this
got
thing I
enough
can't
stuff.
do?
Do you want me to enlighten you, Legacy, or are you good?
If I can get a legacy ring, I could put it into play.
All right, I'll enlighten you because I mean, I've got 2 damage dealers and the rest of mine still, so I'm pretty happy with what I got. So, Backfist Strike and Danger Sense.
Punching.
Every time I see that, I want to say Danger Mouse. That's what I see when I see Danger Sense.
Lead from the front. I have one already, and it's limited, so you can only have one.
Another Psychic Maelstrom. All right, so yes, we are all going to agree to discard.
Yep.
All right, Legacy, what would you like to get rid of?
Oh.
One of those Heroic Interceptions or something different?
I guess I'll get rid of the Heroic Interception.
All right, Haka. 2 Vitality Surges, but then you got a Dominion, a Ground Pound, a Haka of Restoration, and a Mare.
You have trash already?
What's that?
Do you have an equipment in the trash already?
I do. I have a mare in there, but I won't need another one if I do that, so may as well just get rid of the mare.
Cool.
All right, and I have no equipment at all, right?
Yeah.
So just discard a card.
Yeah, I'm just going to get rid of one of these telekinetic coons, because... All right, so Haka, go ahead and put a mare in play. And no more Pervasive Red Dust, but Haka gets to draw a card thanks to Dominion.
I shield self.
Here's my favorite line ever from Danger Mouse. It has something to do with... he says, I'm under a rest, but he's taking a rest. I don't know if I'm totally dating myself by saying that, but I used to watch Danger Mouse when I was a kid. Oh, boy.
I don't know anything about that. All right, who wants to discard a card? Tachyon. Tachyon always wants to discard.
All right, anybody?
What is Legacy?
Do it if I need to, if no one else wants to.
Danger Sense, Backfist Strike, Heroic Interception, Next Evolution, Thok.
I can discard Danger Sense unless you... I mean, it's good for you to have more cards in case you get a Haka battle.
Yeah.
Or to use Ground Pound or something, so...
I mean, Omnitron's only got 22 left, so...
Yeah, I'm not going to use Danger Sense, so let's discard that.
All right.
Meanwhile,
at the Hall of the Super Best Friends... Danger Sense...
Haka is getting all the cards.
Crumbs, DM. Oh my god, it's taking me back. And the sedatives.
Oh.
Wow, wow.
At least it's only the one card. He hasn't flipped back in this entire game. Alright, so, yeah, give it to her and give it over to Legacy. Yes, I will redirect. But I will not redirect for Haka. Because Haka's on that picture getting sedated.
Yeah, but
Wouldn't
he's also got a -1.
Yeah, exactly. Now, young Legacy is no longer happy. She is angry.
Her atomic glaze is getting more atomic. All right,
Yeah,
so unfortunately, we're going to lose Dominion, Tamoka, Mental Divergence, Lead from the Front, Twist the Ether, Fortitude, and Savage Mana, which
we don't get to shoot it out.
Everything underneath Savage Mana, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well,
Oops,
so
that
it
was
goes.
A mistake. Go ahead. Here we go.
I was worried that would happen at some point, but... Oh well.
Omnitron is not going down without a fight.
All the heroes are damaged.
We are all below 10. Okay. I feel like it's time for more punching.
Backfist?
Backfist strike. Look, she's angry now. I like that artwork change.
Darn it, Omnitron.
Punch him for 4, shoot him for 3. He's going down.
This is what you get for destroying all of
Oh,
our
sweet.
cards.
Inspiring Presence. That's going to get played next turn. Maybe.
Yep. All right. Haka. Get a Tamoka back out so you can...
Yeah, or
Vitality Surge.
Vitality Surge. I think I'll go with Vitality Surge. I haven't played one yet this game.
I always forget that you also get to draw a card on that one.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And you get a Vitality Surge.
Nice.
All right, so
And then Mare.
yeah, Mare.
More cards.
Yep.
If we lose by 1 hit point on Omnitron, it's because you didn't use Tayaha here. Just so you know. But you got a Haka battle, so we'll be fine.
Yep. All right. Her Psychic Headache.
He's going down with that Haka battle
Yeah.
as long as Omnitron doesn't, or as long as Haka doesn't die.
All right, so I'm gonna Mind Spike, and then you know what you're playing next turn. He knows what he's playing next turn, so I'm gonna go ahead and Enlighten myself. And see if I get anything interesting. Not that it's gonna get to my next turn, but
I'm going to try to kill him before Haka can. That's my goal.
all right. So I'm gonna get rid of one of these Psychic Maelstroms just because. Why not? And the self-destruct sequence comes out.
Doesn't
Just in
matter.
time.
It's the final countdown. Do-do-do-do.
EPE. We are not worried about that.
Skip the rest of the turn? No. Why
No.
would we do such a thing?
Inspire our presence.
So do you want to fuck and then damage, or what do you want to do with the Inspiring Presence?
I want to kill him. I can't steal the kill from Haka. I don't have enough damage. But I'm going to make it so we'll get him to the most minus we can. So Thok, and then hit him.
And then Atomic Glare.
And then
Haka.
Haka battle everything.
We're going to battle the
You should skip your turn and let the Visionary finish him off, except she can't.
All right.
And then we would lose to the Electropulse Explosive.
Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Actually, we wouldn't necessarily lose. Oh, no, we don't. I don't have the redirection anymore. But if I did, then we could save one person from the Electropulse.
All right.
10 more damage.
Mare.
Well,
No,
Taya has more.
Tayahara.
Tiana does more. Yeah, 3 melee. All right.
It's not an N.
Tayaha.
There's no
Tiana,
N.
whatever. Tierra. Tierra. Meringue.
I
All right.
inspired
I'm gonna go ahead and
Haka.
do. Should I just go ahead and do it to the Electropulse Explosive? All right, and kaboom!
That label doesn't fit in that thing.
Not very well.
We need to fix that.
987.
See, he's obviously the composer. No one else can do that.
Yeah, seriously. Listen to how musical he is. We did it. So here's the only problem with you singing along, Jean-Marc. Since you can't hear it, you're not in sync with the music.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
You
via
should-
the Skype,
Is
we
it on
can't
the
hear it.
stream?
It's on the stream, so
Oh,
they're
okay.
hearing it, and they're hearing all the sound effects and everything. But
We have to imagine it.
the heroes have done it once again.
I'm sure there was a whole lot of bzz, bzz energy
Let's
damage.
share it.
Oh yeah,
Share
why
it to
not?
Steam.
Share. Screenshot saved. We have 0 friends. I'm logged in as me. This doesn't say. Does this say my name anywhere? Am I going to get inundated with Steam requests for friends? I have 0 friends online. How do I upload it? View screenshot. Okay, there it is. Upload. Visibility public. Share
Share
to
to
Facebook.
Facebook.
Why not?
There you go. Our beautiful screenshot.
Oh,
Well done, team.
I'm
Yes,
apparently
type
not
your password
logged
in.
Right here on the stream so everyone can see it. Nope. All done. All right, cool. So yeah, so that was Advanced Rules Cosmic Omnitron against the team of Young Legacy, Haka, and the Visionary. Our almost undefeated, what's it called? Record remains. We've only lost, what, once, right?
Twice.
Twice.
Because we lost with Craig.
Ah, yes.
I wasn't going to say anything.
All right, So Cosmic
It
Omnitron,
was
base.
the toughest match that the forum could come up with. So
It was indeed. Yeah, see, and that's one of those things about this game that's so cool is like, I mean, I tend to play I hit randomize until I get a villain in an environment that I like, and then I usually, if I get anything other than 3 heroes, I hit advanced rules and just go. And it's always different. I don't know that I've ever played the exact same game more than once, with the exception of like
the tutorial,
which we played that
testing
one, like,
it
a million times.
And the tutorial was also our demo at PAX and stuff, so
Exactly.
played a lot.
Exactly.
Actually, you should tell the story of the first demo at PAX Prime.
Yes.
And when Christopher first tried it.
So anybody who hasn't been to PAX or seen the game before, I'll show you what the setup was. The setup was regular Baron Blade at Insula Primalis against a team of Legacy, Bunker, Tachyon, and
Super Scientific.
Nope. Oh, yes, it was Super Scientific, wasn't it?
Yep.
It was. I think that was necessary for what happened.
Yeah, and so the demo unit was basically set up with this, and you could get through 3 complete rounds. And so we thought we were like really, big deals because I managed to get Baron Blade to flip before the demo timed out. Because at the end of the demo, you could not keep playing. Our later demo at PAX Australia, you could choose to keep playing and just go. But that one timed out and it was done because the game wasn't finished at that point. We were still very much just showing it off for the first time. And so we handed it to Christopher and said, okay, the demo's going to time out in 3 rounds. And he said, okay, I'll beat Baron Blade in those 3 rounds. Or like, oh, you mean you'll get him to flip? He's like, no, I'll beat him completely. This is what happens when you're the guy who created the game. He proceeded to, through the course of, one turn after another, deal maximum damage, set up his team in the exact most optimal way so that he completely destroyed Baron Blade and won the game before the demo timed out after 3 rounds, which we hadn't actually gotten to a point where we had a victory screen yet at that point.
Yeah, it was like error.
Yeah, it was like, congratulations.
No error.
Error. Game over.
Yeah, well, actually, he thought he wasn't going to make it, and then he Super Scientific Tachyon and got the Lightspeed Barrage, which is exactly what he needed to win.
He actually finished it before the Wraith's turn.
Yep.
And he, first turn, he got Inspiring Presence, and, every experiment worked with Fleet of Foot all the time and stuff, so it was it worked out very well. And it was, the craziest thing was, it was the first time he ever touched the digital version, and he destroyed it.
Yeah, he had seen, at that point, honestly, he had only ever seen screenshots, I think. I don't think he had ever seen the game in motion at that point. And he picked it up and immediately beat it. All right, so Iceman has asked a question. In this stream, you guys already mentioned that you'll be adding a discard card counter for that turn. Is there a chance of showing on the card the actual value of X based on the current situation rather than just an X?
So yeah, I can mention something about that. So earlier in the stream, I mentioned how there will be kind of a pop-up caption window next to a card. And one of the things that we can discuss is which cards we want to add those kinds of pop-ups to. So, one idea with that would be that any card that has X, especially if it involves going meanwhile and, looking in a trash or whatever it involves, if it just had that pop-up saying X is blah, 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 or something along those lines, that would be one way to handle that. One reason we wouldn't want to replace X itself is, just the reading of the card itself. He deals 5 damage, where 5 is blah, 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 but
Yeah, with the H replacement, it's fairly straightforward because you just you change something like H or H+1 to just a number. If you look at a card in here, the H is still there, right? And that just changes to a number. But actually, this is a good example because it has both of them. The trouble is if you replace X, the wording of those cards needs to change. And so, and then you don't actually necessarily, maybe you wouldn't see what the X means anymore, and we definitely want to preserve that. But having it next to the card is something we're looking at least as a first thing. So, good question, though.
Yeah.
We definitely want, those kind of opportunities to make things a little more dynamic is something we definitely do look for.
And actually, I don't know, I'm sure some sharp-eyed readers have noticed this, but the wording on the villain cards actually did change from the tabletop game to the video game. And basically what we did was, and we actually had a lot of back and forth with Christopher about this in terms of whether or not he thought it was a good idea. And basically, if you read the cards in the tabletop game, they read as like instructions. They're telling the players at the table what to do with the villain turn. And this was sort of my idea, was the idea that, like, in the video game, you don't need to give instructions to the player because the video game handles it. So we reworded it like so. So to give you an example, this Baron Blade that we're looking at right now on the tabletop, it says, whenever a villain target enters play, put it under this card and play the top card of the villain deck. And that changes to whenever a villain target enters play, it is placed under this card and the top card of the villain deck is played. And the idea there was like, you are playing against the villain. You know, don't, you know, like, let's really embrace that idea and say that the villain is playing these cards himself. And it's sort of, you get to see what he's doing, but you don't have to be the one who's in charge of it. So we've already changed the language a little bit, and we wouldn't necessarily want to change it in a way that makes it harder to understand exactly what's happening. And so I think that the X equals whatever is probably still pretty important to keep around.
Cool. Yeah, so we'll that's some good ideas, and we'll look into how we can potentially do that. Any more questions?
And actually, if you have any more suggestions like that, let us know. Visit handelabra.com/contact. And maybe I'll add a thing in there for I want to send you an idea about Sentinels. Like, you could just select the support for Sentinels of the Multiverse and just let us know. You know, honestly, whenever we get feedback from the community, one of the reasons why, you know, we decided to get the game out, you know, as soon as we possibly could, even though there are still features that we really want to get into it, is we want to know what you guys think. You know, this game is a cooperative game. There's no reason why the development of it can't also be a cooperative experience. You know, let's figure out what we as a community think would make this game more fun, and then we can, on the development side, start to put some of those ideas in there and, you know, let the community see how they work. So,
yep, there's been tons of stuff that we've done in the game based on feedback, and that's our approach. Is, you know, we don't necessarily know what's the right answer. We want to hear from you guys. So yeah, and so one of the things we've been planning to get into, Iceman suggested a graph at the end of the game showing the character's HP, and that's something we've been planning to get into, is the end game stats display, you know, showing how much damage people did and how their hit points were and that sort of thing, as well as just longer term stats like what's your win-loss record, and that kind of stuff. That's something the game is doing some keeping a track of stuff right now for that use in the future, and so we definitely want to do that. It's just sort of, you know, we're a small team. You're basically, the dev team is on here on the stream right now.
Yeah, the only other person who's
the
only other Handelabra not who's not on the stream tonight is Jennifer, and she was on the stream a few weeks ago when I was busy. So that's the whole team. There's 4 of us. And so, you know, when we're, you know, just this last week, especially, and the last month, really, we've been really sort of focused on getting the Steam version out. And so now we're going to be shifting gears into some of our new stuff, that's coming down the pike in 2015. We will have more information about that. Essentially, the second 2015 becomes the real thing. We've actually already decided what we're going to announce on January 1st. So, stay tuned.
Happy New Year post.
Yes, a Happy New Year post, as it were. So the question on the table, are there any characters, hero or villain, that you are excited to bring to the video game?
Jean-Marc?
Jean-Marc?
So Jean-Marc is the primary developer of the rules of the game. So I'm curious, what's your answer to this? From that perspective.
From a mechanics standpoint, I really like Spite. I think he works in a really interesting way that most of the villains don't, so I'm excited to have him in there. Environment, I really like Silver Gulch because of how the environment interacts with each other. Like, all the cards kind of interact with each other in that one. Like, you can kind of imagine this gunfight that you're just sort of in the middle of. And then hero-wise, I really like the Argent Adept because of
I was hoping you would mention him.
Ridiculously complicated all the combos he can potentially do are. So I really like the more intricate mechanics of various, you know, villains, heroes, and environments. because I like to think of creative ways that things interact with each other, and when you mix those with all the regular heroes, environments and stuff like that, you can get some pretty interesting situations going on that I find what makes this game really fun. So,
Jean-Marc's 3 favorite cards are Sub-Zero Atmosphere, Twist the Ether, and Atlantean Font of Power.
Which
I was actually just looking.
and
To answer that question from the point of view of someone who doesn't have to develop it, because I don't actually do the development. I do some graphic stuff, some sound work, but then I'm also sort of the business and marketing side of the business. And I was actually just looking through a bunch of the decks today, actually, and I was very interested in how we, in the video game, are going to do the chairman, because I think that's going to be our first foray into messing around with how the villain area looks, because the chairman obviously has his character card, but then there's also the operative, which works a little bit differently than a normal target. And just from a graphical point of view, I'm really excited to start playing with how, we might have the chairman and the operative be represented graphically on that in the villain area of the screen. So that's one of the things I'm interested in coming up. John, did you have an answer?
Yeah, for me, for the villains, Vengeance is really interesting because even further along those lines is it's going to be totally different. Because in Vengeance, you have 3 to 5 villains. And so that's something we're going to have to, change the interface to handle that, which is going to be interesting. And then, they have all kinds of really interesting abilities that interact with one another. So that's going to be something that's a lot of fun for the beta testers to find all the issues.
Yeah, I can tell you from a UI point of view, once we get to the Vengeance expansion, it was one of the things that we dealt with when we were making Sentinel Sidekick. For those of you who don't know, the way that we actually sort of became partners with Greater Than Games was we made Sentinel Sidekick, which is an app that tracks all of the hit points and stuff when you're playing on the tabletop. And when we got to the Vengeance expansion pack, it was like, okay, so we need to make it support multiple villains versus multiple heroes, but there's also now a hero that is actually multiple heroes, and that is the Sentinels. How we're going to represent the Sentinels in a game of Vengeance on the app, on the actual video game, is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, there's the hero team and the villain team in that expansion, so yeah, that's true.
It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, some sort of tag team swap out kind of view or something. I don't know.
Yeah. And for the hero, I'm actually really interested in how we're going to do guys. We can't really talk about it, but it is going to be weird. Just saying.
Yeah, you guys will all get to see guys soon enough, once Wrath of the Cosmos gets out of shipping hell. But yeah, guys, he looks like an awesomely super fun character to play. But how we're going to do that in the video game, should be interesting.
Yeah, he's kind of the joke character, so...
Yeah.
And also, I would be remiss if we didn't mention fan favorite Unity. I'm excited to see Unity because I know how excited everybody else is going to be to play Unity. Because I know that, she is definitely one of the more popular, especially given that she's in a mini expansion. Like, she's just a one-off character that people can get. For her to be sort of, I
think she's one of the most popular characters.
One of the most popular characters, and... the Raptor bot, Mr. Chomps, is essentially, if there is a Greater Than Games mascot, he's it. So, yeah.
I have a plush Mr. Chomps.
All right.
We got a question. How do we sign up to beta test? The beta test is a private beta test, but we are planning to get some more beta testers soon. So keep your eye on our Facebook, Twitter, and blog. And when we do a call for beta testers, you can submit. We'll have a form. So Iceman,
to answer your question, that was actually an idea that
you should read the question so it's on the stream.
I will read the question so it's on the stream. So Iceman is wondering, have we considered having the option for a player to save out a comic book story of each game so the players can look back at their epic battles and or share them with others? That was actually one of the very first things I pitched to Greater Than Games when we were talking about making the video game. And it is not something that they were against, but it was one of those things where, it's a pretty big feature to do right. Because if we just sort of cut and pasted pictures and text and whatever, it would they would start to look pretty similar pretty quickly.
They'd either be very similar to one another or very disjointed.
Exactly. And so it's one of those things, if and when we start selling a couple 100,000 copies of the game and we have budget to do that kind of a thing, I would love to do that, because especially as fans of the game know, there is a whole comic book world behind this world, but it doesn't actually exist as comic books. There's only a couple comic books so far. And starting to help build out some of that history with these sort of video game created comic books would really be super fun. And it's something, so yes, the answer to your question is yes, we have considered it. Whether it's going to happen anytime soon is a much more open question. I would say definitely not in the short term, probably not in the medium term, but in the long term, I would say it's definitely something I'd push for.
Yeah, we've definitely got it's a really cool idea, but we've got some pretty high priority things like obviously expansions and multiplayer, other platforms like iPhone and Android phone we want to look into. So, we have a list of things we want to do, and it's definitely on there somewhere.
Indeed. And it is a long list.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I think that is going to do it for our stream this week. Thank you, everybody, once again for tuning in. If you are celebrating Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. If you are celebrating Christmas in the coming days, Merry Christmas. If you're celebrating something else that I failed to mention, Kwanzaa, something else, happy...
You're so insensitive, Jeremy.
Happy...
something else. Happy
solstice.
Something else.
Happy solstice, happy Kwanzaa, happy whatever else you do. Happy New Year to all. As I mentioned, we are dark next week. We will not be doing a stream because we are technically on vacation. Vacation basically means I'll only be working 40 hours next week instead of the usual 60 to 80. But yeah, so that's going to be it for us through the end of the year. And we will see you all for our next stream on January 6th, Tuesday, January 6th. But until then, thanks, and get back to saving the multiverse.
Yeah. Have fun playing Sentinels over the holidays.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Sentinels on Steam is a great stocking stuffer. Hint, hint.
Yeah, it's great to have you, Jean-Marc. We'll have you on again, I'm sure, for your insights.
All right,
and musical stylings.
Musical stylings of the great Jean-Marc. All right, thanks, everybody. We will talk to you soon.